Little update on the infrastructure negotiations, just for fun. I love it. So it's not been going well recently. If you believe that this bill should deliver to the American people on, the actual problems that they have and the promises that Biden made, Democrats are haggling now over whether to drop two of the most popular elements of their bill. According to a half dozen sources, I'll consider that confirmed. One is a plan to expand Medicare with dental, vision, and hearing benefits for tens of millions of seniors, as well as a pitch to guarantee paid family and medical leave to all US workers now in danger of getting cut from the bill entirely. So why? We just said it's like the most popular part. You ran on those things. Why would you cut it? Well, paid leave and Medicare expansion may not fit in a package that conforms to Joe Manchin's preferred price tag. But I have a follow-up question. Which preferred price tag? When exactly did he cite the price tag? Because we've shown you this before. At one point, he was calling for 4 trillion in infrastructure spending. That wasn't the 70s. It wasn't the 80s. This ain't a Stranger Things thing. That was this year. Now it's 1.5. Kind of a big difference. Maybe he should explain that, but he's not going to. Anyway, it turns out I did some research. He's not the only senator. There are other senators, and one of them had this to say. Mr. Bernie Sanders said, the expansion of Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and vision is one of the most popular and important provisions in the entire reconciliation bill. It's what the American people want. It's not coming out. And I like to hear it. I like to hear it. It was a promise. It is necessary. It's very popular. We'll get to those numbers in a little bit. But remember, he could still threaten to vote down this entire thing, the reconciliation bill and the attached bipartisan bill. It is one of his priorities. He's been pushing for that for a long time. And this ain't Bernie Sanders' dream to just do expansion for dental, hearing, and vision. That's not what he wants, but he does know that we need that. And if that's what he can get, that's what he's gonna fight for. So Francesca, I'm glad to see that he's sticking to his guns.
I mean, it's interesting because, and I will admit this, that I don't think I knew that Medicare didn't include dental, vision, or hearing, right? I mean, these are things, your facilities when you're older are going to need a little tune-up. They're gonna need some help. Dental is incredibly expensive when you get older, as is hearing and of course your eyesight. So it's just so heartbreaking to know that even the few programs that we do have that were hard fought for, that actually Republicans know that they can't take away from their voters, which is why they never talk about Medicare, right? They're just like, oh, the debt. We have to, do something about the debt, and we're China. Meanwhile, I would love to privatize Medicare if I can, right? The Paul Ryan dream type stuff. So, but it's so basic and it's so critical. And again, we talk about the vaccine is just a giant culture war distraction from what people actually need. And if there's anything that proved that we need these things, it's a goddamn pandemic.
Yeah, and imagine, like, such a good point. Like, we were talking about it being the distraction. Fox needs it. They need something to talk about, because think about what alternatively, if they were actually what they say they are, if Tucker Carlson was actually a right-wing populist,
yes,
what would they be doing every day? They'd be reporting honestly on these interminable like evolutions and devolutions and the negotiations. They'd be telling their base what's on the docket right now, what's potentially being taken off, who's threatening to take it off and why. And then think about what the right-wing base, if they were actually presented with that information, would be thinking. Many of them desperately need the expansion of vision, dental, and hearing in Medicare. They're on Medicare, they need it. Some of them have had kids, would have loved to have had paid leave, are planning to have kids, would like to have it in the future. They're old, they want the elder care. They don't care about the climate change stuff so much. But these things they would very much want. And so if the right wing was seriously discussing this, what you would actually have is them, Tucker Carlson, inspiring his base to root for AOC and Bernie Sanders to defeat the corporate Dems if they actually cared about delivering on the economic anxiety that their base has. And they can't have that, Francesca.
No, I mean, he would be for unions, but like also for segregation in unions. If he was an actual right-wing populist, right? Always continually blame people of color, blame immigrants, but they're like good on class stuff. So yeah, you're totally right. It's not what he is. And it also makes me frustrated because look, I get that the Build Back Better Act is so massive and that there are so many transformative pieces that are now being, completely stripped for parts, but that you can't really it's difficult to sell it around one thing. But if there is one thing, out in front that like a lot of older voters, a lot of more conservative voters, sadly, it's not even home care, which you would think would be something that they are for, because again, home care workers, often women, often people of color. And so it is Medicare. Just keep talking about like vision and dental. Have like an old grandma put on glasses for the first time. I can see that Joe Biden helped me to see. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can see. Like just do something corny like that. Like that's how you have to sell this, because I swear I've spoken to Republicans who are like, well, it's the damn immigrants coming across the border and and I was like, do you know that Republicans in your state are trying to take away Medicare and like throughout the country and your state? And they're like, oh, I don't like that. I hate that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like,
no, and you could make it right wing if you want to. Have the old woman. And she opens up a box. It's the hearing aid she needs. With my new hearing aid, I can hear creepy Joe Biden sneaking up behind me. Thanks for the hearing aid, but stay back, Joe. You can do that. Make it for your audience. I'm not gonna make the ad for you. You can do whatever you want. But anyway, I'm glad that Bernie said like 5 people are fighting for us in the entire government. Thank God we at least have those, and that makes it even weirder that there are people on Twitter who supposedly are on the left, and literally the only thing they do is attack the only people that are helping us.
With my new teeth, I can take a bite out of socialism. Arr.
We should make these ads.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.